I'm going to talk about sales growth in this video because it does relate to anime, even if you might not think that it does. Watch this and you'll understand where I'm coming from.
Arigato.
So the most recent episode of Demon Slayer, episode 8, season 2 of the arc, there's a battle going on right now. And in order for them to be able to get to that point, they had to train and be patient and be practical of what they're able to do. Same thing applies in sales too. You have to be willing to train, be patient, be practical, be willing to fail and possibly lose sometimes along the way. That's what has been happening throughout the season so far, is there is some wins, there's some losses, there's some ups, there's some downs. Same things happen in sales. There's some ups, there's some lows. There's some days where you feel like terrible and you're like, there's no way that I can make it through. But you keep doing, you keep chugging along, you keep talking to people, you keep having the conversations, and you understand how to handle the rejection and the objections better than you ever could beforehand. Same thing applies in anime. When you're up against an opponent, when you're up against the battle, you are going to be, honestly, at ends meet. You are going to be like, how in the hell am I going to beat him? You might be trembling, you might be worried, you might be scared. Every emotion of fear is going to be running through your body when you're up against the upper echelons. So that is what happens in sales too. When you're up against that consumer, when you're up against that person that is like standing in front of you and has the ability to say no, to reject you, you are going to be trembling. It doesn't have to be the case though, because you can just look at them in the face and be like, yeah, that's fine. We can move on. We can go to the next person. I don't need your sale and I don't have to necessarily be afraid of you. I can defeat you if I am patient, if I am willing to understand what is required and be willing to work as a team to be able to conquer the foe that's standing right in front of me. And this is why in sales training, you're going to want to listen. You're going to want to have mock calls. You're going to want to practice more than anybody else has done if you want to be the best at the best. And that's what has happened in the Demon Slayer arc as well so far, is they are practicing. They built up the skills to be able to get to where they are so that they can conquer the demons that stand in their way. So if you want to be able to make more money, if you want to be able to have more success in your sales career or just in general in life, you're going to have to practice. You're going to have to put in those hours. You're going to have to put in the time. You're going to have to sacrifice things that very well could be very important to you. It's not forever. It's temporary. It's something that will come back to you later because you are patient and willing to give up that instant gratification right then and there and be able to wait for the long-term gains that'll happen with your sacrifices that come along with it. Because everybody that's been training, that's been fighting, they've given up so much, and yet they're here, they're standing, they're fighting, and they're ready to conquer what is directly in front of them. So take the lesson from Demon Slayers. Be willing to be patient, be willing to sacrifice, be willing to understand that there's going to be some foes in front of you that you may or may not be able to defeat. Just as in sales, there's going to be some people that you're going to be able to sell. There's going to be some people that you can't. But you have to keep trying. You have to keep growing, and you have to keep experimenting with new breathing techniques, with new pitches, with new strikes, with new conversations to be able to see what works best. When you figure out what works best, keep that. Because when you keep that, you'll know that it works. And if it doesn't start working with other people, then you can slightly shift it. You can hold your sword in a different way. You can say your mannerisms. Instead of saying or is, you say and because that'll incorporate the subconscious mind to be able to be more associated with that specific task that's at hand right now. That's how Demon Slayers episode 8 relates to sales, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try doing a little bit more content like this where it applies to at least some sort of aspect of your real life and not necessarily just talk about the series itself, and we'll see how that goes. So, appreciate you.